Keep your radio dial right here. You're locked into the hottest news station on the planet. Hot 702.5 in FM sound. Blazing today's hip-hop, R&B, and pop music. Keeping your radio on fire. Bringing you the hottest, realest, riskiest talk shows live 24/7 on hot7025fm.com.
E-Class Consulting. It's owned and operated by Carrice, providing tools, training, and resources that are sure to make you and your business even more successful. We are staffed with a marketing, credit, tax, and a real estate consultant. E-Class Consulting also provides a temporary admin service called E-Class Admins. Want to book an appointment with E-Class Consulting? Call 702-518-3002 or email book@eclassconsulting.com. E-Class Consulting, navigating you to greatness.
Yo, it's Tavon Greatness Patterson. Want to listen to Hot 702.5 on the go? Download the Hot 702.5 app on the Apple Store or Google Play Store if you got an Android like me.
Let's get it.
It's your main man, 360 the Poet from the Morning Wood. And are you looking for the perfect drink? Well, you found it. Mimosa Royale is the perfect combination of California sparkling white wine and natural juice that is both tasty and refreshing. No artificial colors or flavors, no sugar added, and it's gluten-free. As the world's first ready-to-drink mimosa, Mimosa Royale is perfect for any occasion, day or night. You no longer have to drink 12 of those seltzers just to get that perfect buzz. At 8% alcohol, Mimosa Royale is the perfect drink to party with. Offered in a variety of flavors and sizes, you are bound to find a Mimosa Royale that you'll love. We have berry, mango, apple, and orange, with more flavors to come. Mimosa Royale is the most award-winning flavored wine that serves in bottles or cans. You can find them online at drinkmimosa.com or find them at your local liquor store. Ask for it by name. Mimosa Royale.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Cheryl Underwood, and you're tuned into the hottest news station on the planet, Hot 702.5.
Tune in now on hot7025fm.com. All right. You guys are tuned into Hotlyte right here on hot7025fm.com. I am Carrice, and listen. I know we interviewed entrepreneurs, we interview artists, and I had an author on today, and he happens to be a friend, and he also happens to be a host right here on Hot 7025 as well. Without further ado, I think it's only necessary to go ahead and introduce the world renowned Greg Deville, who is an author now. What's up? How you feeling, Greg?
Hey, good. I'm feeling great. I'm excited. It's going down.
It is
48 hours.
Listen, you got a lot of stuff going on. You have a book launch that you have coming. We'll get the dates and how people can go to that and all that good stuff as well. But I need to deep dive into you creating this book in the first place. Kind of like a backstory on like where I heard a section about, keep your hands out your pocket, and sometimes I put my hands in my pocket, but I'm trying to reach for something,
I got you.
So I definitely want to hear about this. Tell us about your book, and then I want to go into how you even came about, writing this book and making everything happen.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, at the end of the day, man, I appreciate you this interview.
Absolutely,
you set up for me. It's a couple days from my launch 7 years ago. As many may know, I'm a broker in town, and I own the largest black-owned real estate company. And my friends and I, back in Southern California, where I grew up, they were saying, "Man, look what you did!"
Where you came from.
Right. Like, look what you did.
Right. Can we talk about that?
Yeah.
Okay, because when we talk about look what you did, where you are today, we all know you're successful. You have the largest black-owned real estate firm, in the state of Nevada, essentially, right? And you've been selling houses like crazy. So, tell us, when people say. You're at this point today, what did that point look like 30 years ago?
I've been, as a young boy, my dad was a handyman.
Okay.
And that's what the book talked about when you talk about get your hands on your pocket. 'Cause my dad would fuss at me because he was always fixing on stuff. And for me, So he's like, you can go ahead and do something with your hands. He'd be like, get your hands out your pocket. Find something to do. Get a broom.
Yeah.
Sweep up the dust. Do something. And so my friends, as I mentioned back in Southern Cal, we were laughing because, again, they were like, man, look what you did. You've grown to man, we hearing about you in L.A. People in Chicago tell me, man, we hear about Greg Deville, and people refer me around the world. But that's because I've been on the grind, right? I came here 20 years ago to Las Vegas. I was just trying to get away from a drug addiction. So I was escaping the drug world, man.
You know what? We had a brief conversation, just a personal conversation, a few weeks ago, and we were talking about how in the heck did you even get into doing drugs in the first place? Did you have too much time on your hands, or what was going on, Greg?
Well, my cousin. So alcoholism was rampant, right? In my home, in my family, and so we start with drinking, right? And my cousin, his dad liked to smoke weed. So he brought the weed, I bring the drink. And so we would turn up on the weekends, when they come spend the night, or I go over their house. And so, and that's how it started. Yeah. And it got to a regular thing because alcohol was around the house. So we could always, and your parents didn't know you took a beer or two. They had so many beers. They never suspected me. Until one day I took a beer and my dad said, "Did you take a beer in the refrigerator?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "Don't do that again." But I had already been doing it for a while, so I was loving the feeling that came, and being a charmer, it brought my charm out. I felt like I was
charmer.
Yeah. I felt like it was just doing so much for me, and so, and I don't make it like my drug addiction was bad. I had fun doing that. It's just the outcome was destruction for me.
Right.
I can't tell you I didn't enjoy the getting high and the drinking. I did. It was fun.
So when you say the outcome, what did that look like? Was it like a deep downfall? Did you lose things? Did you lose people? Like, what happened?
So my mother would tell me, my godmother would tell me, I didn't meet my mother till I was 13, but my godmother, who was our neighbor, she adopted me as a godson. And she would say, "Boy, it's weed today, but tomorrow's going to be something stronger." And over time, it did result to that. It became something stronger, which back in the 80s, cocaine was prevalent. Back in the 70s and the early 80s, cocaine, it wasn't crack. It was freebasing. And so we were around people who were doing it, so we started trying, and next thing you know, we doing Primos, and we just on this drug thing. It was big.
Right.
It was everywhere. It wasn't hard to get to, and so got caught up in it.
Yeah.
Got caught up in it.
So okay, because we can fast forward a little bit because they need to read the book to find out some more information.
Yeah.
So when we fast forward, I heard you had to get out of town. And is that what caused you to make some changes, or what happened? So tell me, who told you that you had to get out of town, and then what made you do that? So
in the book, my drug addiction took me to some really wild behavior.
Okay.
I had folks looking for me. I had, we talk about the prison, the time that I had gotten caught on with, but we don't talk about all the stuff I got away with, and people that were chasing me and looking for me, and I couldn't go back to the neighborhood.
We're past the statute, so the coast is clear.
Yeah. But it's in the book, and so I tell the story in the book. But I had to get away. My drug addiction was really pulling me in. It was causing me to be scandalous. Can I say that? It was getting scandalous.
Okay.
I mean, we started stealing from whomever now. When you start stealing from home,
you
real scandalous now, and it got to the house.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. It got bad.
So then they said, get out of town, Greg, and don't you come back no more.
So when I did move to Vegas, I couldn't get a driver's license in Nevada, and they said California has a hold on you.
Say that again.
Yeah, Nevada wouldn't give me a license.
Say California.
California had a hold on me.
Interesting.
Yeah,
because I feel like that even that statement in itself could kind of go in a different. California had a hold on me.
Had a hold on me, and so
in so many ways.
Yeah. So they told me to reach out to California and find out what was the hold about. And I called Sacramento, California, and talked to the DMV, and they said, well, the reason you can't get a license is because your track record here, and the only way you're going to be able to get a license is you have to sign a waiver to never come back for 3 years. Can't come back to California. If you want us to release the hold, you got to sign a waiver. Don't come back.
Got it.
They just didn't want me back.
And so you said, I'm going to Vegas.
No, I wasn't coming to Vegas.
Okay.
I was going to Oregon.
Okay.
To start life over again.
Okay.
Yeah. I on my way.
They say the Oregon Trail, I guess it goes through Las Vegas.
Well, it was the way to go. You had to go to Utah and go through. I didn't even have a road map. I still haven't made to Oregon. 25 years later, I'm still here.
That's interesting.
But I was a handyman. I had tools. I had a van with tools and ladders and sprayers and when I came to Vegas in 2001, Vegas was booming in construction, and because I was a handyman, man, it was plenty work.
Yeah.
And so I ended up staying for a couple of days. I was like 9 months sober.
Okay.
Yeah, I was trying to.
How did you get to that point? Did you just do it on your own?
No, I lost. Well, I don't want to give too much of the book, but I lost my children to the state because of my drug addiction, and I kept.
So you had to get it together.
I did. I had. They made me do domestic violence, parenting, anger management. I had to do everything, and I just kept. They put me on drug. I kept relapsing and trying to put stuff to cover the fact you used drugs. Oh, it was just so much. So I'm like, had to get a new start.
Yeah.
Had to get a new start. So I said, I'm going to Oregon to start life over again. But on my way, stopped in Vegas.
And then here you are.
And here I am 25 years later.
Okay, 25
years later.
And then and I know some of this is covered in the book, but you have 4 beautiful girls that you raised by yourself, essentially.
So,
the
mom raised them for the beginning. My baby girl, their mom passed, unfortunately, from breast cancer. She had married and moved to Kansas, and their life was up there, and the girls were living in Kansas for about 7 years while I'm still struggling to get my life together. So I'm here. I'm getting to visit them for the summer. They get to come, but that was even a fight. And, I talk about that in a book about parenting from a distance. How the mom just felt like she wasn't sure what I was doing, and it was just crazy. It was crazy. So my life was just. It was heavy.
Could you fault her for feeling that type of way?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I had proof that I was doing well. I had proof, and I got letters from like commissioners and city council people and people who I was a handyman for. They will give me a reference letter saying Greg Deville is a great handyman. He's doing great in the community. He's such an asset to the community. But she would still fight me. And so I couldn't get the children. And every year I'd go get them just for 60 days of the summer. I said, look, you can keep them for 300 days. Just give me 60 days, out of the 360. And it was always a fight. Every year I'd get up there with the minivan to get the 4 girls. And I'm always handed a letter. The court said you don't get the kids. Then they try to get me for 10 days. I said, girl, by the time I drive back, it'll be time to bring them back. Right. And so we fought every year. But unfortunately, she passed away. And my baby girl was 7 at that time. She didn't know I was her father. She thought her stepdad was her dad. She said, you really my father? You really my daddy? She was 7. She was 6 then. But I was just out of their life on a regular. Right.
Well, at least she was 6 or 7, because that's essentially when you start learning things and you start putting things together and formulating your own opinions on stuff. So that's probably a good time. Not only did you have your things together, you're doing things in the community. Unfortunately, the way that you got the girls was probably not the best for them especially. But you did, and that's a lot. Raising 4 girls
as a single dad. Then I remarried, and unfortunately lupus took her life after 5 years of marriage, and that was hard because they lost their mom, and now I have a new wife, and they loved her, and she came in with a mom left off, and for the 5 years they were attached to her, and then life happened for her. So I was widowed to raise 4 girls.
Well, it sounds like you did a good job. It sounds
the school of hard knocks.
I feel like with all things you learn on the job. It's like on the job training to try to raise kids, or even you being an entrepreneur, it's on the job training. You're learning in real time, what you can or cannot do. And I think that that's just the lessons of life. And I think that you're gonna have those things to talk about in your book for sure. I saw a section in your book called that said everybody can't go.
Everybody can't go. There was some people I had to leave behind. When I moved to Vegas, I had to leave everybody behind. My drug addiction kept calling me back. The best thing I feel happened to me was when California said, sign the waiver and don't come back. And I snuck back. And as soon as I went to the neighborhood, visit my friends, they did a raid on my friend's house. And just as I'm walking out the house, the police come up 10 cars deep with the SWAT. They're raiding the house. And I creep away because my friends started running, so they chasing them while I just tipped away. For 6 hours, I sat down the street watching. For 6 hours.
You got lucky.
And I had an $80,000 bond had I come back. $80,000 bond. And I didn't go back anymore. I just said, I'm gonna wait that out. 3 years. So
Well, good. I'm glad you stopped here. You ended up holding up residency here, and you had a lot of things going. You what in the heck made you start a real estate brokerage?
It's funny you would ask, but I had been working for realtors for many years. They sell homes. They needed a handyman, and because I'm a plumber by trade, but I'm a craftsman by skill, I can fix anything. Right. Gotcha. When it comes to a house. Right. And I got a bill for you too.
That works.
And I'm working on a remodel right now. So my dad taught me stuff that I didn't want to do. That's what the first chapter was. My book isn't chapters, it's lessons. They're lessons that I've learned. And I'm here to encourage people, to inspire a mindset, to get people to become greater than where they are right now. Maybe you work a job now, but eventually, what is your passion to own a business, right? So that's why the journey into entrepreneurship and success, what does it look like from my scope?
Right.
It's lessons as well as it's a reflect and apply after every lesson chapter. It'll ask you questions. It's got blank pages in there for you to write answers, highlight. I just want to encourage people to go farther than their parents did. I want it to be greater. My father wanted me to be great. That's why he left me lessons.
And I think that too, he left you with skills that you could use forever.
Absolutely.
And I think that's pretty valuable.
Yep.
I was listening to a radio show this morning and they were talking about one of the callers called in and she said that she was becoming an electrician. She was she was in school and she was almost finished with her 3 years.
Yeah.
And she was talking about how much money they make and she was and the host was like, that's what we want to encourage people to take trades and learn how to, do, carpentry and because you'll have that skill forever, no matter what happens,
even with the technology that people, starting your own business in technology, whatever that might be, you can own that.
Yeah.
Whatever that is, you can own it. Whether it's insurance, you can own your own agency.
Right.
Real estate for me, because I was fixing homes and then I'd have to call the realtor back to come sell the house. So back in 2004, I said, man, I've been calling these realtors and they drive up in a sport coat and a Mercedes Benz and they sell the house I've been working on for 40, 50 days. They sell it in 2 days.
Yeah.
And they're making $12,000 to $30,000 to sell the house. I'm like, what would it be like for me to fix it up and put my sign in the yard? So back in 2004, I got in touch with the real estate school.
Nice.
And took the test and failed it miserably. Failed it 5 times.
Did you study?
I studied, but my comprehension, I didn't high school.
You know what? I'm not. You know what? I did very well in school, but I'm a terrible test taker.
I just sucked, man. 5 times. I had to go back to school, and I tell anybody when you study anything, immediately go take the test while it's fresh on your brain. Don't let time lapse. Don't let stuff get in the middle because you forget. What was it again? You start second guess, and I'm a good second guesser, right? I don't go with my first. I'm like, that doesn't sound right.
Yeah. And
my first was right. They say if it's A, B, C, and D, it's always C. Whatever it goes, it didn't work. It didn't work. So
well, listen. I'm glad that happened. That you decided at that point. You're like, hey, why am I not making all of this money and I'm doing this work in order to, and that encouraged you to go ahead and say, okay, I'm about to cut out the middleman and become the man.
Exactly.
And I think that's admirable for sure.
But the funny part is, even though in 2005, when I finally passed the test, the market started crashing in 2006, 2007, and 2008 bottomed out. So I got in the market as it failed.
Right.
So now I'm in the market. I remember when my first transaction, I wanted to quit real estate.
Yeah.
Because they were charging monthly fees, and my first deal took 9 months to close because they were doing short sales. It was should have been called long sales, but short sales, and it was just taking a while.
Yeah.
And they were charging me monthly fees, the split with the agency, and all these fees. Got that first check. I'm like, this is not going to work.
Right.
And I said, Lord, if you bless me to have a real estate company, I'm never going to charge fees. Here I am. I've owned my brokerage for 10 years and I've never charged fees. And not that I haven't had times I've considered it, but then that vow comes back to me that I said, Lord, if you bless me to have a real estate, I would never charge fees.
Right.
And so I remember the vow that I made, that if God blessed me to do it, I would never charge.
Yeah.
And so 10 years, I've needed to charge. At that time, I'm like, if all of us collectively get together and give this, we can make this work, But then at the end of that little fine print, but you said you wouldn't.
Right.
And so I said, okay, I'm going to honor my commitment. Good. But here I am. I'm the largest brokerage in the state. I've been 10 years, 20 years as an agent, but 10 years as a broker.
Yeah.
3 locations. Yeah. I've done very well, made good money. And trained. Wasn't that I just learned and taught people, but I've trained people. So 4 agents has grown under me to become their own brokerages.
Yeah.
They came to me with not doing any deals.
Well, that kind of brings me to another section before we kind of close up, because I know you're on you got a lot going on. You had a lot of stuff to do to plan for your event that you have on Saturday. But in your book, you talked about finding your purpose. Have you found that, and what does that look like?
So for me, and again, without giving too much of the book away, it's really helping people to start gaining wealth through equity. My purpose is helping people to understand that when you pay somebody's rent, You pay somebody's mortgage. And so why would you do that when you go to work every day to pay another man? And so that to me has been an asset to many. I meet people today who tell me, in fact, I got a client right now, he's got over $250,000 in equity. Just because he heard me on the radio.
Yeah.
Just because he said, man, you vested in me. And how much? I got another guy. Oh, I got so many people who tell me the story. Guy bought an apartment building.
Nice.
He's got $350,000 in equity. Just because he asked me, Mr. Deville, I inherited some money. What should I do with it? I said, buy an apartment building. I said, first go to the bank and ask, what would they give you for $300,000 a month in the bank? He said, Mr. Deville, they would talk under $200 a month for me to put my money in their bank. They weren't giving very much at all. I said, well, this apartment building, you can get $3,800 a month if you pay cash for the building. So he paid cash, and here he is 7-8 years later. Now I got $350,000 in equity. So he's like, man, thank you.
Yeah.
And that's my purpose.
Got it.
That's my purpose.
Okay, good. Well, tell us this. You have a book signing coming up, and tell us about it. How can people, come or get a ticket and, buy a book, all of that good stuff?
So if they go to my IG at Greg Deville LV, there's a link there. I've got posts there. If you go to my Facebook, Greg Deville, there's a link to register to, because of course we want a head count, right? We only got enough room for 100. We want a head count. I think I might be at 100.
I love that for you.
Well, but I've been in radio so long, right? So many people that we've helped.
Right.
Wow. I was looking at
but
file
it's good
cabinets.
to have that support, though.
And it is. And I really appreciate it. It's really valuable to me for people to show the love. Even people that I haven't met, they want to come just to the fact of being in my presence and hearing the story that from where you come from, and I talk a little bit about the journey. And they said, man, I really, they want to buy the book, but I'm waiting to sell the book once I release the book. I mean, I got 200 books. Yeah. They're sitting on my cabinet, but that vow just, do the book launch. And from there, then we can start selling the book. You know? And the book's only $26. For the year 2026, $26.
Got it.
I just like the number 8.
Number 8, okay.
Number 8,
2
26.
plus 6.
2 plus 6 is 8.
Got
8's a new beginning.
Right.
So at 60 years old.
Infinite beginning.
Infinite.
Yeah.
So at 60 years old, one of my vows when I turned 60 in last February is that I'm going to finish my book. And it took me right up to the end of the year.
Right.
But we got it done.
You got it.
Got it done. So.
Well, good. I know you have a song that goes along with this book. We're gonna play that after this, after our live ends. But it's good. Yeah. It's very emotional too. So be prepared. Be prepared for that.
Yeah, and I want to thank Tara Gordon, who is my, she's actually my ghostwriter. She's been such an asset for me, taking notes, putting up with me because I could change my mind. I said, I want to add this. Are you serious?
Putting up with, that should be her next song.
Putting up with this? Putting up with me. Putting up with me.
Yes, exactly.
So Tara's listening. Tara, we got a song for you. Putting up with Greg Deville. But I really appreciate Tara. She is such a wonderful person. Yeah. And when she heard the story, she went home and she came the next day and said, I wrote a song to your book.
Nice.
And so it's
out there.
It's out there.
I was looking for it on some social platforms. You got to put that on there.
So she was waiting for the book release.
Okay.
Waiting for the book release because it is a
So we'll
soundtrack.
probably have it tomorrow or something. It'll be available.
Well, it'll be available. So I'm releasing it. Actually, you can play it. It's fine. But we're releasing it with the book launch.
Got it.
From the library at 12 o'clock on Saturday, January 27th. We'll be releasing the song. But we can play the song. That's fine. Yeah. I'm okay with that. But yeah, absolutely.
All right, good. Well, thank you, Greg, for coming to hang out with me. I wanted to make sure that we definitely highlighted what you have going on, and I'm excited about your book. And those of you who make sure you go grab this. Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Deville is making it happen out here. You look all handsome on there. Look at that. I like it.
Thank you.
The Journey into Entrepreneurship and Success. Go ahead and buy that. Go to the book launch. You can go. Just tell me the website one more time.
So again, go to my IG, Instagram, Greg Deville LV.
Greg Deville LV.
Greg Deville LV. And there's information on there how to buy the book.
Okay.
The book just it's not ready for sale until the launch. And then you can buy the book. And then we're direct distributing.
Okay, perfect.
So we'll be every Friday we're putting books in the mail unless you're local.
Yeah.
Right. But we're direct distributing. So they'll be able to get it after Saturday. The links will be there for it.
Okay, perfect.
Yep.
Well, thank you again.
And thank you. Thank you for spending the time out of your day to do this for me.
Absolutely. You're worth it. You're worth
I
it.
appreciate
So we're
it.
good.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in to Hotlyte right here on hot7025fm.com. I am Carrice. We'll see you next time.
Keep your radio dial right here. You're locked into the hottest news station on the planet. Hot 702.5 in FM sound. Blazing today's hip hop, R&B, and pop music. Keeping your radio on fire. Bringing you the hottest, realest, riskiest talk shows live 24/7 on hot702.5fm.com.